Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I am back, and it is time for another Starcraft 2. Just checking we got the music on there. As we get into this one, we have got ourselves a very high-level pro match that I'm going to be casting today. I saw this one, and I thought, you know what, I just got to cast it. In the top right-hand side of the map, we've got none other than the Finnish phenom, Serral, who represents Team Ents. And taking on Serral is probably my favorite Protoss player. In the bottom left, it is Trap. Okay, so we have got one of the best Korean Protoss players, top 2 Korean Protoss players, I'd say. Stats and Trap are kind of there as far as the best. And then we've got one of the top 2 Zerg players in the world, I'll say, being Serral. So it's going to be a really good match, I think. Trap is always an exciting player to watch. Like, even if he's not necessarily considered the favorite in his match, he usually runs a very tight ship as far as his builds go, as far as just what strategies he picked. And sometimes he just makes players look downright silly. Now, I doubt he's going to be able to make someone like Serral look silly, but I do think that he's going to be giving him a good run for his money at the very least. And so, yeah, we'll just take a look here. Ladies and gentlemen, as per usual, if you do enjoy these videos, if you do enjoy me commentating the big dogs like Serral and Trap, even though that some other people have already covered these matches, go ahead and hit that like button. If we can hit 75 likes, that would be amazing. And of course, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't, by the way. Join the bell gang, slap that bell icon. But enough of that, as we've just been watching some casual probe harassment take place, or casual drone harassment. Anyway, we see, yes, this probe being as much of a pain as possible. However, Serral fires up his lings, so the probe's gonna skedaddle out of there. And yeah, then just the builds are gonna start forming up for these players. We've got Trap going for the quick Adept, chrono boosted out, no surprise there. That's been the meta for years now at this point. And if we take a look, we've actually got Trap with his probe hanging out at the third base of Serral. Just maybe trying to check if there is that third on the way, maybe trying to be a bit of a pain, but Serral is very good at his arithmetic. He's going to be counting or thinking of where that probe's going, no matter what. And he's actually going to be seeing the fact that this probe is coming back into the third base with that Overlord, so he might move out to try and hunt that down, but I guess he's worried about the Adept or something like that. And the Adept for Trap is out, but it's actually just staying at home. And I'm not sure what the reasoning for this is, if this is just to really deny a scout, make Serral nervous about what's coming his way. And so these guys are already playing some kind of mind games, like the positioning for that Adept was there to make sure that no Ling could make it into Trap's space, so that Serral would say, okay, what are you hiding? What's going on in your main base? So he's going to commit in with this Overlord. The Stalker for Trap is going to be out, though, and that's going to allow Trap to get the Overlord kill, and basically Serral's just going to scout a regular Stargate play with a quick Oracle. We take a look here. The Oracle's going to pop out. A second Oracle's on the way. And Serral, yeah, he is going to scout this out, but then the Oracle is now going to be crossing the map. There's one Spore started for Serral. The Queens are in position at the natural base. And the Overlord does go down. But yeah, just little mind games like that are really cool to see from the best players in the world. And if we actually take a look right now, Serral's completely cutting a Spore at his natural base. He's confident enough with his Queens to defend against that, which is really awesome to see. Just, that's one of the things that you can tell, like, okay, is this Zerg player, like, a really good pro? Because the really good pros, they'll skip out on Spores because they're that confident with their defense. Serral shoos away the Oracle. The Oracle managed to get 2 drones. So that's actually alright for Trap, but then again, Serral saved on the Spore Crawler. The problem is, however, now that these Adepts are getting into his base and are gonna maybe get a little bit of damage. Looks like 1 drone, 2 drones before the Adepts get cleaned on up. So in all, 5 drones go down, 2 Adepts lost. It's neither a great nor a bad opening for either player. Trap's now got out 2 oracles. He's going to be microing these as well as he can, and he is a player who's very good with his oracles. We see Adept's now getting in position for Trap to defend that 3rd base. He's got a battery on the way already too, which I love to see against these aggressive European Zergs that love their Ling attacks. We take a look, there's a Roach Warren now on the way for Serral. He's just getting up in Evo. And yeah, things are looking pretty darn normal. Trap did manage to just grab himself an extra couple drones with the Oracles, so that's quite nice. Serral's at 48 drones to Trap's 50 already, so Trap's actually got quite a good economy. Of course, the Zerg one scales differently, but Trap's already got his 3rd base up secured, and he is going hard on the probe, so his economy is going to be looking real good, and he's getting little bits of damage done to Serral's. As we take a look, yeah, he just grabbed yet another drone. This is making Serral a little bit uncomfortable, and I'd say it's just really good play by Trap. He's got the battery at his 3rd, some really good pylon positioning to help act as choke points. And then looks like he's going to lose another Overlord. Trap's getting up a gateway wall. I really like the way that Trap's playing this game out. He's equal on workers with the Zerg. The Lair's about to get up for Serral, and he's starting to make a Roach. I imagine there'll be a few more Roaches on the way after that. Safety Roaches mainly, but yeah, I think Trap's got himself a little bit of a lead this game. Just from the pressure he's put on his opponent, we even see him trying to cancel this hatchery with the Oracles. I don't think it's going to happen as the Queens come on in. It's actually going to be super, super close. He does force a last-second cancel. Beautifully done by Trap. He gets it with both the Oracles. I was doubting whether he'd be able to get that, but no, confident enough. He pulls away. The one Oracle, and then the other is able to force the cancel, and that's actually a fact that I don't know. Does an Oracle out DPS a hatchery building, a single Oracle? I would not know. I do not play Zerg, nor do, well, I play Protoss, but I think that's something that maybe Zergs would know more so than Protoss too. So anyway, we take a look here. There is an Overseer, pardon me, not an Oracle. Flying around, seeing that 3rd base, saying, hey, what's going on? Okay, you got a Robo Bay on the way? Okay, well, he didn't actually see that, unfortunately, for Serral, so that's actually a bit of a pain. Looks like he might see it on his 2nd pass. No, he's actually missing those critical tech structures, and if he saw them, he'd see that the Protoss player is actually going into Colossus, which is quite a big scout if he's able to identify that coming, but he is not. Oracle's coming on in. Are they going to kill off these creep tumors? No, they're looking for a couple of drones or something. They're not going to get that, though. Just flying over the army. Tags it with Revelation. And Trap is actually coming into the main base, but yeah, not going to find any damage. Keeping his Oracles alive, though, is very, very important. And I really like the choice that Trap's going for with his Colossus. I think Colossus are such a good unit. Of course, sometimes Zergs will just go for big attacks and roll over a Protoss with Colossus. But man, seeing Trap go for Colossus, it warms my heart. I love to see a player who's confident enough with a unit like the Colossus to be like, yeah, I can put this into my play. I'm in a pretty good spot just from the way the openings have gone. Serral, however, is building up into that big Roach Ravager composition, and he's probably going to get aggressive with it at some point. And that might make things a little bit worrisome, because while Colossus are very good, they aren't amazing against Roach Ravager. They're more so better against a Hydra composition, and it's a fair assumption that Trap assumes there'll be Hydras out of Serral, seeing as how that Hydra den's on the way. But then again, once the Zerg gets up to Vipers, it becomes a little bit concerning. Looks like Trap is going to be going into Disruptors after this, but we already see the Vipers start for Serral. 3 Vipers as he scouts 2 Colossus, probably assuming there'll be a 3rd. And then he can just abduct those high-value targets. Is Trap actually going to give Serral time for this, though? This is going to be like a bit of a 2-base Colossus all-in, it seems. There's a cannon and a couple of Zealots warping in to defend this 4th base from the Zerg player. As Serral's trying to get some damage done, but no. Trap is really focused on this big attack. He's forcing a lot of units out of Serral. The Zerg is now maxed out and ready to defend this position. But it looks like Trap is just going to go home, start going into his Disruptor tech. I imagine we'll see a Templar Archive soon, seeing as how, oh, Disruptor going to try and hit those Lings. Yeah, I imagine we'll see a Templar Archive soon, seeing as how there's going to be Vipers out on the map, the Protoss wants something to counter the Vipers as these Lings are trying to grab a Disruptor. Not going to be able to get one. And there's actually no charge for Trap, so we should see that researching soon. He's just going to bounce around the bases for now, though, trying to keep the pressure on Serral. But I don't think we'll see a big attack. The force fields may allow him to pick up some units, but there we go! Triple abduct from Serral. Gets 2 of the Colossus. Beautiful play there by the Zerg player. Just getting those guaranteed kills, and that's why Colossus really aren't that popular in this matchup. Trap maybe was going to make a timing attack work, but since Serral's got those Vipers in, as long as he doesn't lose them, Trap's probably not going to make any more Colossus. He's relying on Disruptors to zone the Zerg army back. Disruptors are getting abducted too, though Serral's got very good Viper control, and now all of a sudden there's no AoE besides this one Colossus left for Trap. He does have a few Immortals in the army, which are good against Roach Ravager, and the army supply is actually eerily close, which isn't good for the Zerg. But we'll see. Serral's coming forward. He's even got a Lurker burrowed behind that third base. Corrosive Bile going down on Trap's army, but Trap does end up grabbing that hatchery. Nicely done. Knocks Serral down to 3 bases momentarily till this new 4th base is established. Serral is going to throw up 14 drones to ensure his economy recovers. Now we see Trap starting to get up those upgrades. He's got Charge, a Templar Archives, armor on the way, as Disruptors are going to continuously keep zoning out the Protoss. And Trap goes for a blink forward. He's not done fighting yet, apparently. He's got to be very wary of the Vipers, as they can always just abduct more Disruptors. But Trap, feeling really confident in this game, going for plays like this. Yeah, really, really cool to see. And Serral, he's just got to rebuild the space. He's just got to sit back. He does have Lurkers on the way, which, of course, are very, very good units. We see that Seismic Spines on the way, then we'll probably see Adaptive Talons on the way after that, and then the Lurkers will just burrow like lightning. Yeah, the general concern is, though, that Trap's a very good Protoss player, and he may be able to bounce around these Lurkers. Like, the better the Protoss player is, the more defense a Zerg needs, as the Protoss will just deal with small groups of Lurkers with more finesse. And so we see Serral, he's got 6 Lurkers at the space, but then he says, I also need 4 Spines to help defend this one. And I really do like that Serral's not just keeping like 2 or 3 Lurkers here. 6 is a very hefty number, and that Trap's not just going to be able to like blink on top of those. The Spines aren't done yet, though, as Trap's army is now approaching this location, and oh my gosh, he actually does just blink on top there. The Lurkers do unburrow there. Looks like 1 died to the Disruptor shots, but 2 stayed alive, and that was enough to make Trap hesitate. The Lurkers are getting some good Spine shots on the Protoss army coming up that ramp. Serral predicting those Disruptor shots coming forward, unburrows his Lurkers, and now that Adaptive Talons is on the way, they will get quicker, much, much quicker at that burrowing. All the while, Serral was going for a counterattack, hitting Trap's potential 6th base, or yeah, what is his 6th base? He's also got this base to the left. The Trap's gone for a double expand, which I really love to see. And these players are just all over the map right now. Serral's making more Vipers, he's getting up more Spines to defend his bases. But yeah, this game is just really starting to heat up. We see Disruptors getting abducted, but then Serral eats some Psystorm, Lurker, or an Oracle going down. Actually, yeah, Trap's now lost his Oracles. He might even want to replace those, so he's got the Revelation. But man, this game is hot and spicy. We see Trap is going to try moving forward now. He's going to separate Serral from his base. There are Lurkers that can burrow to lock down this position. Trap actually blinks forward, and he's going to eat some big, big Spines as, yeah, just Stalkers die very quickly to Lurkers, so Trap's got to be really careful. He's actually out of Psystorm on this army, I believe, burned all of his feedback energy, so there's not much to stop Serral just diving on top of this army. We see Stalkers are attacking this base from behind, but there's plenty of Spines and Lurkers, so Trap's attack is suddenly going south. I mean, he's been playing very well this entire game up to this point, but I'd say this is the first major misstep we've seen from either of these players. Trap taking a rather poor engagement. So he's going to go back home, get up a fleet beacon, make a couple more Colossus. I'm not sure why that is. I guess he just figures that having 1 or 2 in the army is good for passive AoE, but again, they'll be very good abduct targets for those Vipers. Looks like some Zealots are going to corner these Ravagers. That's actually rather nice. But oh, Serral with the very cute burrow play keeps those Ravagers alive. The Zealots are just going to move towards the space to the north, but then they turn around because the Lurkers are there. The Ravagers are going to unburrow, but now an Observer actually joins up with this. Trap saw that. Here's the Observer going to get on top of those units. Looks like Serral's like, oh, I've been found out. So a very odd engagement as the Ravagers corrosive bile themselves to death. The Zealots are now going to move into this base, but there is plenty of Lurkers here. Looks like Trap is going to get pushed on out, as he's now going to be moving towards the north with a primarily Immortal High Templar composition, it seems. And boy, oh boy, does he ever have a very good Immortal count, which is actually great to see against this many Lurkers. And this is where I'm actually going to be a little bit concerned for Serral, until his reinforcements showed up, but there they are. Alright, Psystorm's going down for Trap. He's feeling confident. He wants to try and break this location, but with the Zerg coming and reinforcing, yeah, Serral can't push in there. Maybe he can push in towards this base now. There's only a couple Lurkers there. The Zealots once again come in for Trap, get some damage done. DTs are now out for the Protoss player. There's no DT blink just yet. I imagine Trap will start that up relatively soon. But now Serral trying to hang on and make things really complicated for Trap as he's teching towards a greater spire. I feel this is something that we've seen less and less in the meta lately, and I'm not sure exactly why that is. But yeah, with a greater spire on the way, that's going to make things very complicated for Trap, because in a way it forces the Protoss hand. You either fight or go into Sky Toss. There's really no in between. You can't just keep making Stalkers against Broodlords. You have to basically take a fight. There's no detection at this base to actually deal with that Lurker, so this Lurker being a very big pain, denying some of Trap's mining. But then again, both players are at very healthy economies still, very healthy banks. Trap more so than Serral, but still, yeah. What a game between these players. DT's now coming in for Trap, but they gotta get on out. They don't have Shadow Stride just yet, but there we go. Carriers are now on the way for Trap. Extra Stargates going up. He says, okay, this game's going long enough that, yeah, you could eventually get into Broodlord, so I gotta be careful, but whoa, big engagement in the center of the map. Looks like some Immortals got abducted, quite a few, since that count's looking lower. But Psystorm going all over the place means no player takes favorable trades. And that's actually pretty much the tale of this game if we take a look. No player taking favorable trades. Both lost about 20k resources. Really shows the state of late game PvZ right now, or, well, PvZ right now, in which the game can go later on. And it's really just all about how the players play. We see Serral constantly harassing with these Lurkers as he's got 2 on the high ground. I don't even know how much Trap's been able to mine from this Nexus all game. Not much is the answer. Serral, with his army now, though, is going to start moving in. Is Trap ready to intercept this? I'm not sure, because the Vipers are looking for some good abducts, potentially Blinding Clouds to lock this location down, to break Trap's 6th base, or 5th base. Carriers are on the way for Trap, so he's kind of in a transition point right now. Psystorm does hit some of the Lurkers. That's really good, but yeah, I'm not sure Trap's going to be able to hold on to this base, as he does have supply tied up in those carriers. I mean, he's got a few Colossus finished up. Now those will help out, but yeah, Trap just elects to sack this base. He's probably going to re-secure this Nexus, take that base in the bottom right, and then just say, alright, yeah, I'm not going to fight into a very strong Zerg army like that. We see Trap moving out now. He's actually going to catch some of Serral's army. That's really good for him. The Lurkers having their pathing betray them a little bit. Some of the Hydras are actually completely caught out. Now, this could quickly turn around into a potential surround for Serral, but no, he just wants to get all of his units back at home. Big Zealot counterattack from Trap moving on in. Looks like he's going to try and deal with the one Lurker that unburrowed there, but yeah, he needs some detection to deal with the Lurkers so then he can kill off the base. He's got an Observer with this, but I'm not sure he's confident enough to go in. And the game's just going to continue on with Trap building carriers. Serral hasn't really gone for any Broodlords yet, which is quite odd. The fact that he's not even showing that hand to force Trap or to scare Trap, but we do see he is getting 1/1 air upgrades on the way, so he's going to keep that in his back pocket. Trap's now going to be showing his carriers for the first time, and this is probably going to force Serral to transition, but for now, Serral's probably just going to rely on the Vipers to try and deal with this, but we see feedbacks go down on every single Viper by Trap. Psystorm's moving in. This could be Trap's moment. The Vipers are useless. There's one blinding cloud that gets tossed out, but a Psystorm cuts at most of the lurkers, and Serral is all of a sudden in a lot of trouble. He's got 15 Hydras in production, but a lot of his army was out of position and not ready for Trap's big attack. We see the Hydra Den is exposed at the back here. The Lurker Den's exposed too. And Serral, all he's confident to make right now is just Hydras, but these are Carriers, Colossus, and Archons. I'm not sure this is what Serral needs. He's all of a sudden in a very, very dangerous spot. He's got a big bank, but he doesn't really have the time to make these units. One Archon gets abducted. Serral's trying to re-energize his Vipers, but they're starting to get picked off. They might have energy for 1 or 2 spells, but look at this, a big attack from Trap, and I think that Trap is actually just going to break through, all of a sudden snatching the game from Serral just like that. Wow, I did not expect the game to come to a very quick end like that. Holy cow, Trap, yeah, he just charged on in, got perfect feedbacks on all of those Vipers. The Vipers are basically the unit that prevents the Protoss just from pushing in. But if you disable those Vipers, all of a sudden, yeah, Carriers, Psystorm, Archons, and Colossus can definitely break Hydra Lurker. And then we saw this wasn't all of Serral's supply. He had like Lurkers over there. He had some more Hydras over here too. And so, yeah, you definitely can't fight this much of an army for Trap. But wow, really well done by Trap. That was unexpected. GG gets called though. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this match, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, join the Discord, talk some Starcraft, Pro Starcraft, Alpha Star, all the good stuff there. And consider becoming a member. There are various perks you can get if that's something you're interested in to support the channel. But I'll see you guys next time. Thanks so much for watching. My name is LaughNgamez.